Hey guys, welcome back. You guys really dug the last two parts of our Teen Titans Surprising Facts list, so we're back at it with part 3. And this time I'm filling in for Sasha. Don't worry guys, she'll be back soon, I promise. But in the meantime, we've got a whole new list of facts for you. So let's cut the small talk and get right in. Starting off this list, let's take a closer look at the creators of the Teen Titans team. And we're talking the two main creators here, starting off with Bob Haney, because a lot of people had a lot of influence in creating the Teen Titans with the Brave and the Bold, but that's for a different list. Haney grew up reading the likes of Flash Gordon and Prince Valiant, and he served in the Navy during World War II, afterwards getting himself a master's at Columbia University before starting his career in comics. During Frederick Wertham's reign of terror on the industry though, many of the publishers Haney worked for went out of business, but luckily he got in with DC in 1955, and 9 years later he would create the Teen Titans and the Brave and the Bold. Moving on to the other half of the creative team, Italian illustrator Bruno Premiani. He was a political cartoonist before working for DC, and he was kicked out of Italy for his anti-Mussolini work, then immigrating to Argentina in 1930. There he worked for a newspaper called the Critica, on an educational comic section called Seen and Heard. Despite not being in the country, the Italian fascist government at the time kept an eye on him, and decreed that he would be arrested if he ever tried to return. He eventually moved to the US in 1948, working at DC as a penciler and inker at first, with titles like World's Finest Comics, All-Star Comics, and The Brave and the Bold under his belt before creating the Doom Patrol in 1963 and then the Teen Titans in 1964. In at number 8 is DC Rebirth Team. We mentioned the lineup of the Titans from the New 52 in one of our previous lists, but what about the Rebirth lineup? This time around, we have Damian Wayne, the current Robin, recruiting Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, and the new Kid Flash to help him take on Ra's al Ghul, his grandfather, in the first issue. Other Teen Titans include Jamie Reyes as Blue Beetle, and Jackson Hyde as Aqualad, who was introduced as being gay, despite the previous version of Jackson Hyde having an on and off again girlfriend. Also, how old is Starfire now? Girl's been on the team for quite some time. I guess that alien heritage helps keep her youthful? And at number 7 is Trouble in Tokyo. The Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo film is chock full of a ton of cultural references. Deka Mido is a reference to the Japanese Godzilla. There's a slight homage to Batman Begins, with Robin's motorcycle scene being pursued by Tokyo troopers, a nod to the car chase from the film. And there's another nod to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, with another Robin scene that matches the first scene with the Terminator. There's also several video games that make animated cameos, including Guitar Hero, DDR, and Whack-A-Mole. And there's a cosplayer in the arcade cosplaying as Ryu from Street Fighter. And there is even a parody of Iron Chef in the film. And at number 6 is Brushogun's creations. With Deka Mido resembling Godzilla, what do Brushogun's other creations reference? Well, there's Scarface, who is based on No Face from Miyazaki's Spirited Away, Mecha Boy, who is basically Astro Boy, Naya Naya is a homage to the anime Catgirl trope, Tomoko is an homage to Boss Borat from Mazinger, and then there's Sakio Tech, who looks a whole lot like a Power Ranger. So many references, some of which I probably said incorrectly. And at number 5 is a finale. And here's the last little tidbit about Trouble in Tokyo for you guys. Well, the film was supposed to serve as a finale for the series, since as you guys know, it was cancelled after season 5. The head writer of the show, David Slack, who had left after season 4, returned to pen the film. It didn't include any reoccurring villain from the show in it, and it only featured one honorary Titan, Aqualad. And fun fact, the theme song is actually sung by the Titans themselves, which is kind of fitting. Up next, number 4 is the Starfire controversy. So our next number is focusing on one of the characters from the team, even though this didn't happen during her run with the Teen Titans. So we mentioned this in a few of our other videos on our channel, but Starfire's had her fair share of controversy over the years based on her appearance, and has quite the history of being over-sexualized. During the New 52 reboot, Starfire became one of the most blatantly objectified characters in contemporary comics, and after the backlash from fans, DC gave her costume an overhaul. But then they took away her personality and made her super ditzy. So fans weren't too jazzed about that either. Poor Starfire. She's so cool, why they gotta ruin her. And at number 3 is the Mad parody. The Teen Titans appeared in a 2010 animated parody on Mad. Not to be confused with Mad TV, Mad was an animated sketch comedy based on Mad magazine, and aired on the Cartoon Network. So anyway, in this parody, the Titans replaced the characters in the film Titanic, and it was called Teen Titanic. And as you can imagine, some good clean fun hilarity ensued. And at number 2 is Titan Tower. Titan Tower is the home base for the Titans, and despite it having various different aesthetic changes over the years, it's always typically taken the shape of a T. There's been 3 different towers too. The first was destroyed by the Wild Beast Society in Titan 79 in 1991. The second was a hologram built by Cyborg, which hid the real HQ underground beneath it, but it was also destroyed in 2002 by Epsilon. And the third, well, it hasn't been destroyed yet, thankfully, and resembles Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water, which is kinda neat. The different towers have also existed in actual cities across the US, instead of just fictional ones, despite the Titans having previous home bases in Gotham and Metropolis. These cities include New York City, where it's usually set, New Jersey, and San Francisco, where the new one's located. And finally, in at number 1 is Memorial. Speaking of the Titans Tower, the most current tower features a memorial for dead Titans. This includes Aquagirl, Dove, Golden Eagle, Hawk, Cole, Omen, and Troya and Jericho, both whose statues were actually destroyed though. But that's okay, because they were both resurrected anyway. Because yay, death in comics means nothing. Anyway, that's not including Infinite Crisis, but it's worth noting that both Superboy and Kid Flash got statues that Superboy then destroyed when they were resurrected. That whole good old death resurrection bit again. Additionally, there are a few Titans who aren't a part of the memorial though, including Jason Todd, which Jason wasn't too happy about when he fought Tim Drake and discovered that he had no statue when their battle led them to the memorial room in the tower. Alright, there we have it guys. The new live action show is set to come out in 2018. We're certain there will be a whole lot more about the Teen Titans coming your way pretty soon. So let us know if you guys want a part 4. But for now, I've been Kelly Pally for Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.